Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cha Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudir Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, the Hansa Guhya prayers, text 29 onwards. So Prajapati Daksha is further praying. Yadyad niruktam vatsa nirupitam dhiyakshabhirva manasota yasya ma bhuta swarupam gunarupam hi tattat savai gunapaya visarga lakshanaha. Anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses or concocted within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature, and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond the creation of this material world, for He is the source of the material qualities and creation. As a cause of all causes, He exists before the creation and after the creation. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. So the Lord is beyond all the material creation because He is the source of creation. So that He cannot be anything material. So anything expressed by material vibrations cannot approach Him. But one who manufactures forms, names, qualities, or paraphernalia pertaining to the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot understand Him, since He is beyond creation. The Supreme Lord is a creator of everything, and this means that He existed when there was no creation. In other words, His name, form, and qualities are not materially created entities. They are transcendental, always. Therefore, by our material concoctions, vibrations, and thoughts, we cannot ascertain the Supreme Lord. This is explained in the verse Atta Shri Krishna Namadi, Nam Bhavedrayam Indriya. Means by Indriya, by our material senses, we cannot ascertain Him, we cannot approach Him. Prachetasha Daksha herein offered prayers unto the transcendence, not to anyone within the material creation. Only fools and rascals think God is a material creation. This is confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita, Avajanandi Mamuda. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. Therefore, one must receive knowledge from a person to whom the Lord has revealed Himself. There is no value in creating an imaginary name or form of the Lord. Srila Shankaracharya was an impersonalist, but nevertheless he said, Narayana Para Avyaktat. Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not a person of the material world. We cannot assign Narayan a material designation, as a foolish attempt to do when they speak of Daridra Narayan or poor Narayan. Narayan is always transcendental, beyond this material creation. How can he become Daridra Narayan? Poverty is found within this material world, but in the spiritual world, there is no such thing as poverty. Therefore, the idea of Daridra Narayan is merely a concoction. So by our material mind, material words, material intelligence, we cannot approach it. We cannot, and that's why we have to follow the scriptures. We cannot invent our own ways or our own, the names of Lord, the way we want to. No, it doesn't work like that. Daksha very carefully points out that material designations cannot be names of the worshipable Lord. Nirukta refers to the Vedic dictionary. One cannot properly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead merely by picking up expressions from a dictionary. In praying to the Lord, Daksha does not wish material names or forms to be the objects of his worship. Rather, he wants to worship the Lord, who existed before the creation of material dictionaries and names. As confirmed in the Vedas, the name, form, attributes, and paraphernalia of the Lord cannot be ascertained through a material dictionary. However, if one reaches the transcendental platform of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes well acquainted with everything material and spiritual. This is confirmed in another Vedic mantra. If one can, somehow or other, by the grace of the Lord, understand the transcendental position of the Lord, one becomes eternal. So the thing is, one has to understand the Lord through this material senses only, through the material intelligence, material mind. But when we follow the process properly, when the process is given in the scriptures and by the spiritual master, who are all spiritual, when we follow that process, then slowly our senses become spiritual. But with the material senses as such, one cannot understand and one cannot approach him either. And this is what Krishna says: one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Simply by understanding the Supreme Lord, one goes beyond birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Shukdev Goswami therefore advised Maharaj Parikshit in Srimad Bhagavatam, O descendant of King Bharat, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear, glorify, and also remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. So in every way, we should just remember him, glorify, hear, and remember him. Yasmin yato yena cha yasya yasmai yadyo yatha kurute karite cha paravaresham paramam prak prasiddham tad brahm tad dhetur ananya dekam. The Supreme Brahman, Krishna, is the ultimate resting place and source of everything. Everything is done by him, everything belongs to him, and everything is offered to him. He is the ultimate objective, and whether acting or causing others to act, he is the ultimate doer. There are many causes, high and low, but since he is the cause of all causes, he is well known as the Supreme Brahman who existed before all activities. He is one without a second and has no other cause. I therefore offer my respects unto him. So many ways Daksha is glorifying Krishna, that everything is done by him, everything belongs to him, and everything is offered to him. He is the ultimate objective, and whether acting or seizing others, causing others to act, he is the ultimate doer. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original cause, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Even this material world, which is conducted under the modes of material nature, is caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who therefore also has an intimate relationship with the material world. If the material world were not a part of his body, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Cause, would be incomplete. Therefore, we hear Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samhatma Sutra. If one knows that Vasudeva is the original cause of all causes, he becomes a perfect Mahatma. So material world is also his energy. It comes from him. That's the meaning of absolute truth also. It means everything is in him. Everything comes from him. Everything belongs to him. Brahm Samhita declares Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is a prime cause of all causes. The Supreme Brahman, Tat Brahma, is the cause of all causes, but he has no cause. Anadirādhira Govinda. Govinda, Krishna, is the original cause of all causes, but he has no cause for his appearance as Govinda. Govinda expands in multifarious forms, but nevertheless they are all one. As confirmed by Madhvacharya, Krishna has no cause nor any equal, and he is one because his various forms as Svancha or Vibhinansha are non-different from himself. So his various forms are non-different, means they all are spiritual, but they just have different pastimes or different activities to do. But Krishna, original Krishna, he is a cause of all causes. There is no cause of him. There many times people ask, so is God is father of or mother of everybody, and who's the father or mother of God? Where did he come from? No, he doesn't come from anywhere. He is always there. He is a source of everything. He has no source. He is the beginning. He is the Adi of everything. Yachaktiyo vaditam vadinam vivad samvad bhuvanti kurvanti chaisham muhuratma moham tasmai namo ananta gunaya bhumne. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, acting from within the course of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views. He causes them to forget their own souls, while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him. So he is sitting in everybody's heart, and depending upon everybody's desires, he fulfills their desires. So Daksha says, acting from within the course of the hearts of all philosophers. Because philosophers are what? They're just living entities with different viewpoints. But that viewpoint is their desire to have different viewpoints. Intelligence ultimately comes from Krishna. So Daksha says he causes them to forget their own souls while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. So that's why sometimes it's a Krishna is the cause of all causes, but it's our desire to have that kind of situation. So he just sanctions it. Since time immemorial, or since the creation of the cosmic manifestation, the conditioned souls have formed various parties of philosophical speculation. But this is not true of the devotees. Non-devotees have different ideas of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and therefore they're called vadis and prativadis, proponents and counter-proponents. It is understood from the statement of Mahabharata that there are many munis or speculators. So muni means one who does manan, or he does thinks of different things and comes up with different philosophies. All speculators must disagree with other speculators. Otherwise, why should there be so many opposing parties concerned with ascertaining the supreme cause? So even today, all the scientists, they disagree with each other. All the philosophers, they disagree with each other. That's why they come up with their own philosophy or doctrine and theories, and that's how they all are in business. Philosophy means finding the ultimate cause. As Vedanta Sutra very reasonably says, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Human life is meant for understanding the ultimate cause. Devotees accept that the ultimate cause is Krishna because this conclusion is supported by all Vedic literature and also by Krishna himself, who says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the source of everything. Devotees have no problem understanding the ultimate cause of everything. But non devotees must face many opposing elements because everyone who wants to be a prominent philosopher invents his own way. In India, there are many parties of philosophers, such as Dvaitvadis, Advaitvadis, Vaisheshikas, Mimamsakas, Mayavadis, and Subhavadis. And each of them opposes the others. So I just hope that you don't get into any argument with any of these because they'll confuse you. They'll confuse everybody, in fact. Similarly, in the Western countries, there are also many philosophers with different views of creation, life, maintenance, and annihilation. Thus, it is undoubtedly a fact that there are countless philosophers throughout the world, each of them contradicting the others. Now, one might ask why there are so many philosophers of the ultimate goal, if the ultimate goal of philosophy is one. Undoubtedly, the ultimate cause is one, the Supreme Brahman, as Krishna told, as Arjuna told Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma Param Dhama. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Nonetheless, speculators, however, do not accept an ultimate cause, Sarva Karana Karanam, because they are ignorant and bewildered concerning the soul and its activities, even though some of them have a vague idea of the soul. Many controversies arise, and the philosophical speculators can never reach a conclusion because they are trying to reach a conclusion by their own tiny little brains. All of these speculators are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tan aham dvishataha kruran, those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Because of their envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, non-devotees are born in demoniac families, life after life. They are great offenders, and because of their offenses, the Supreme Lord keeps them always bewildered. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, personally keeps them in darkness because they just don't want to approach Krishna with a devotional attitude. Many times they deny the existence of God, or they deny the existence of a form of the Lord. The great authority Parashar, the father of Vyasadeva, explains the Supreme Personality of Godhead thus. The demoniac speculators cannot understand the transcendental qualities, form, pastime, strength, knowledge, and opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are all free from material contamination. These speculators are envious of the existence of the Lord. Their conclusion is that the entire cosmic manifestation has no controller, but is just working naturally. Thus, they are kept in constant darkness, birth after birth, and cannot understand the real cause of all causes. This is the reason why there are so many schools of philosophical speculation. And nowadays, yes, these are the Vedic philosophers. At least they had some knowledge of the Vedas. But as the time progressed and we lost all faith in Vedic knowledge, we have more faith in modern Western scientists and philosophers. And when they come up with some theory with wonderful formulas and this or that, and we think this must be true. There's so many theories we learn in physics and chemistry and mathematics and this and that. But ultimately, none of these theories, if we look back, thanks to Srila Prabhupada's books, if we look back and look at all these theories, nowhere, nowhere they claim that ultimately everything comes from God. No knowledge anywhere says ultimately God is behind all of this. They just say, as Prabhupada explained, it's all natural laws, law of gravitation, or this or that. They're all just laws of nature. But natural laws mean somebody has to be there to make these laws. But this they don't want to come to that conclusion. Text 32. Astiti nastiti cha vastu nishtayo ekasthayor भिन्न विरुद्ध धर्मणो अवेक्षितम किंचन योग सांख्ययो samam param hi anukulam brihattat. There are two parties, namely the theists and the atheists. The theists, who accept the super soul, finds the supreme cause through mystic yoga. The Sankhyaites, however, who merely analyzes the material elements, comes to a conclusion of impersonalism and does not accept a supreme cause, whether Bhagavan, Paramatma, or even Brahman. Instead, he is preoccupied with the superfluous external activities of material nature. Ultimately, however, both parties demonstrate the absolute truth because although they offer opposing statements, their object is the same ultimate cause. They are both approaching the same Supreme Brahman, to whom I offer my respectful obeisances. Actually, there are two sides to this argument. Some say that the Absolute has no form, Nirakar, and others say that the Absolute has a form, Sakar. Therefore, the word form is a common factor, although some accept it, asti or astik, whereas others try to negate it, nasti or nastik. Since the devotee considers the word form, akar, the common factor for both, he offers his respectful obeisances to the form, although others may go on arguing about whether the Absolute has a form or not. So devotees are very intelligent. They say, okay, form, no form, the common word is form, so let me offer obeisances to form and keep going. In this verse, the word yoga sankhya yoga is very important. Yoga means bhakti yoga because yogis also accept the existence of the all-pervading super soul and try to see that supreme soul within their hearts. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, dhyanavastita tadagatena manasa pashyanti yama yogina. The devotee tries to come directly in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas a yogi tries to find the super soul within the heart by meditation. Thus, both directly and indirectly, yoga means bhakti yoga. Sankhya, however, means physical study of the cosmic situation through speculative knowledge. This is generally known as Jnana Shastra. The Sankhyites are attached to the impersonal Brahman, but the absolute truth is known in three ways. In Brahmjyoti, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The central point is the absolute truth. I know it's all very technical and not too many stories, but this philosophy is important for us to learn. Very, very important. Otherwise, people just talk about so much. And these days, because so much of access to YouTube and internet and so many TV channels are there, and everybody has a right to come and talk about their understanding. But this confuses people. This confuses everybody so much that they don't know where to go. So I'll just go to the last paragraph. The directions given by the Bhakti Shastra points on in the perfect direction because Supreme Personality of Godhead says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Avijanati. Only by devotional service am I to be known. The Bhaktas know that the Supreme Person has no material form, whereas the Jnanis simply deny the material form. One should therefore take shelter of the Bhakti Marg, the path of devotion, then everything will be clear. Jnanis concentrate on the Virat Rupa, the gigantic universal form of the Lord. This is a good system in the beginning for those who are extremely materialistic. But there is no need to think continuously of the Virat Rupa. When Arjuna was shown the Virat Rupa of Krishna, he saw it, but he did not want to see it perpetually. He therefore requested the Lord to return to his original form as two-armed Krishna. In conclusion, learned scholars find no contradictions in the devotees' concentration upon the spiritual form of the Lord, Sachidananda Vigraha. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says that less intelligent devotees think that their conclusion is the ultimate. But because devotees are completely learned, they can understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal. And in fact, not just Supreme Personality of Godhead, but serving Him with love and devotion, that is the ultimate goal. But otherwise, there's so many philosophers, so many people with different mentalities, different viewpoints, and everybody thinks he knows the best. And that is why Prabhupada again and again, and the Shastras also say, follow the parampara system, disciplic succession. And then one can make the progress properly. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any question or comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the Satyanarayan is also a mental concoction?
I have not read or heard the story of Satyanarayan, but I know it is very popular. So I haven't read about him in Prabhupada's books, so I cannot make any comments because I haven't read about him. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this you said rightly that there's so much understandings are going on in the market. God is this, God is that, follow this path, follow that path. It's total chaos. So that is why people are not following anything.
Yeah, people get confused. Whom to follow?
Yes. And most of them says कि कुछ नहीं है, सब ऐसा ही है, bogus. तो कुछ नहीं है, जो मन में आता है करो, जैसा हो रहा है ठीक है, जो होगा ठीक है, बस. No पूजा पाठ, no books read, nothing. जैसे कुछ भी नहीं है, सब bogus है, किसी को कुछ पता नहीं है.
Yeah, I know. या फिर वो कहते हैं सब एक ही है, आप जो भी कर लो सब एक ही जगह जाना है.
हाँ. बिल्कुल ठीक बात है.
Yeah, but उसी में तो फिर preaching यही तो काम आती है. And if not preaching, at least we tell them, okay, whatever you're doing is great, fine, perfect. Just add Hare Krishna also. Just chant Hare Krishna. 5 minutes just chanting of Hare Krishna. बाकी 23 घंटे 55 मिनट कुछ भी करते रहो. No problem. तो कह दो यार ठीक है, सब एक ही है ना, तो हरे कृष्ण भी कर लो, उसमें क्या है, सब एक ही तो है.
वही मैं भी ये सोची कि मार्केट में इतना चल रहा है कि मार्केट इन द सेंस की सोसाइटी, there's through so many channels, and I feel ऐसे ये लोगों का कोई गलती है ही नहीं है, नो, they all are misguided actually.
हाँ, वो बुक्स भी आ जाती हैं और सब
हाँ,
मंत्र भी बन जाते हैं नए नए, पता नहीं कहते हैं वो फॉलो भी करने लगते हैं लोग।
For example, Gita, there are so many Gitas in the market. कोई मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर, कोई किसी के ऊपर, कोई स्कूल के ऊपर।
हाँ, हम्म,
जब उनको आप ये वाली गीता तो ना चलने, नहीं, we have a गीता at home, हमारी फ्रेंड ने दिया था, इसने दिया था, बस हो गया। ऐसा नहीं, ये वाली तो सिर्फ एक ही तो बात है।
yep, यही कहते हैं। इनफैक्ट जब श्रील प्रभुपाद ने कमेंट्री लिखी 1960s में, और 72 में तो पब्लिश हुई थी ये बुक, that time there were 700 versions of Bhagavad Gita, 700 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita that time।
अरे बाप रे।
अभी तो और कितनी आ गई होंगी।
हाँ हाँ, बहुत है, बहुत सारी।
बट वो गीता पढ़ के कोई डिवोटी बना है क्या? जो लिखने वाला वो ही नहीं बना, तो पढ़ने वाला कहाँ से बनेगा?
सही बात है।
तो इसीलिए that's why we have to read Prabhupada's books। I know philosophy आती है कहीं कहीं बीच बीच में, but we have to be clear।
Yes, Prabhuji, that's जरूरी भी है वो philosophy। Thank you, Prabhuji।
Thank you, Mata। चलो, we'll stop here। You all have a safe and wonderful day। Hare Krishna। जय श्री
Krishna, Jai Shri
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri